Welcome back to Race Day for the 2013 AT&T Winter Nationals, sponsored by Speedo. I'm Tiffany Elias. The three-day meet has finally come to a close. Let's bring back Swimming World's Jeff Commings, who's live from the University of Texas for the last time, to discuss the Day 3 highlights and overall meet impressions. Jeff, there was a lot of racing packed into 3 days. How are you feeling?
It felt like an NCAA's, a lot of intensity, just twice as intense because you have men and women, but just a lot of fun here. It was just, I didn't expect to see a lot of fast swim as fast. I didn't expect the times to be as fast as they were, so it just really made me feel good about witnessing a lot of what I saw, not just today, but yesterday and Thursday as well.
Well, let's talk about the intense swimming tonight. What a way to start. Katie Ledecky, what can't she do? Well, what she can do is break American records by 10 seconds and lap high-level competition. Jeff, Katie swam the 1650 in 15:15. Now, we've seen some great swims this weekend, but I'm a little scared at this point of what Katie Ledecky is capable of doing.
It was pretty amazing to see her stay 10 seconds or 9 or 10 seconds under Katie Hoff's American record pace. She tried to go for it last December at Nationals, and she fell off major. And I just could tell that this year she knew that she couldn't just go out and blast the pace the first 1,000 or so. So you could tell that she really knew what she needed to do. It was in her head that she needed to be a little more consistent. She told me after the race that she was staying off her legs for a little bit of the race and really built into it, and that just showed. I think the crowd really started to appreciate it. I think they were kind of like, oh, Katie Ledecky, you're 10 seconds under, but you're not going to hold it. And then by about 1,000, especially after she lapped Lindsey Bruman and Chloe Sutton at the 1,300, I think everybody was like, whoa, this is really something special. And it really was a great swim to watch.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal swim. Let's come back and talk to that one again later when we discuss the swim of the meet. But it's difficult for the men to follow up that ladies' mile. Connor Yeager banked an NCAA A cut, 1650 of 14:39. Jeff, maybe Katie should swim with the men's, and we could possibly see a woman under 15 minutes.
Nothing's impossible, as you said. What can't she do? I was kind of thinking that a lot of the guys that swam the mile today, she beat a few of them. So, that's Katie Ledecky. She's beating the guys. But yeah, Connor's was probably in awe of that too, seeing that right before he swam. But that mile is, that mile obviously not as special as the women's, but it was still great to see Connor Yeager really blasting it out. Michael Clee hanging with them. That Connor and Michael are, they train together every day, so it was great to see those two guys battling it out. Connor's in good shape for NCAAs. I think he's going to just be miles ahead, no pun intended, of everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a good NCAAs. Well, the first of the 3 200 strokes was the 200 backstroke, and something happened that I didn't quite expect. Missy Franklin came second to Elizabeth Pelton, but by 2 seconds. Pelton finished first with a sub-150 time, a 149.5, and Franklin 151.5. Now, Jeff, we know Pelton is a strong 200 backstroker. She has the American record, but Missy had such a strong day, too, that I didn't expect her to fall short by 2 seconds. Did you expect to be that time difference there?
I did expect the race to be a little bit closer, but the 200 short course backstroke is not really built for Missy. She's not a great underwater kicker, as good as Elizabeth Pelton. So that's going to play in Liz Pelton's favor when it comes to NCAAs. But it's still a great time for Missy. I don't think she was really concerned about it. She's always at least a teammate beater. I think Liz is excited for the fact that she was able to go so fast. To be able to go under 150 in season, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, that's huge. Can't wait to see what she's looking forward to. And that's good for Terry because now she knows she can still keep Missy out of that 200 and be dominant. So definitely works well for Cal. And on the men's side, we had another dominant performance by Arkady Vaichanin. He beat the field by 3 seconds. Now, Jeff, Vaichanin is from Russia, but he's going through some citizenship changes. Do you know any updates on that, or how is that going to affect the high-level meets over the next 2 years?
Well, I wanted to get the chance to talk to him, but I couldn't find him after the race. He's really tall. You would think I could, but I couldn't locate him after the race. But yeah, he's still I think a swimmer looking for a country, and I did see him yesterday talking to Mike Unger, the assistant executive director at USA Swimming. So maybe USA Swimming's trying to push for him. That would be, I don't know if that'd be a good decision for Arcadia. There are a lot of 200 backstrokers and 100 backstrokers in this. Probably want to pick a country where it might be a little bit easier to make an Olympic team, but wherever country he chooses, it looks like he's going to be doing well. This is was a lifetime best for him tonight, and looks like he's getting back on the road after he didn't have a great Olympics last year, so it's good to see him back in good form.
Yeah, some personal best times. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up, so we'll keep everyone posted on swimmingworld.com. Now, moving on to the 100 freestyle, veteran Natalie Coughlin goes head-to-head with Amanda Weir and Missy Franklin. A quick turnaround for Missy. Now, Coughlin with the gold again, 47-19, and her sprint counterpart this weekend, Nathan Adrian, he also came out on top again, 41-39. Jeff, how was the 100 freestyle speed tonight, given where we're at in the season?
Well, from what I understand, Nathan and Natalie didn't put in a full rest. Nathan had a little bit of a goatee going, so I think he was trying to make a statement that I'm not fully rested, and a lot of those guys that were in that field were. So to be able to put up a good 41-3, and for Natalie to go 47-1, just really remarkable. And they're doing some really good things there. I think obviously this helps Natalie. She's training with people like Nathan Adrian, Anthony Irvin, which can only help her. And Nathan just continually gets better and better and better. To be able to go 47-3 in season, I kind of wish he had been able to put in a good shave and taper and go under 41, be the first American under 41. But we still got some time for that. Hopefully he'll do that at the next Winter Nationals.
All right, well, moving on to the next 200. It was the 200 breaststroke. Aaliyah Atkinson dominates the field again, winning in a 2:06.2, on pace to be much faster than that, fell off just towards the end. And on the men's side, the Tennessee crowd had a chance to cheer their own to victory. Brad Craig touched first, 152.99. Now, Jeff, these times aren't too bad, but it's so hard watching the breaststroke after we've seen performances from Kevin Cordes last year and, the other strong breaststrokers out there. What did you think about the 200 breast?
Yeah, if you were just forget about what Kevin Cordes is capable of and just focus on this race, it was a very good race. I mean, Brad Craig dropped more than a second off his lifetime best. Addison Bray, a lot of those guys are just really doing well in the 200 breaststroke. And I think, when someone like Kevin is, breaking these barriers, it kind of gets everybody underneath him to really get better. So I think that's what's happening, and it's really paying off. But of course, when you put into context that Kevin Cordes goes 148, I think it kind of makes them look like they're going in slow motion. But you just gotta look at it for what it is. It was a really good swim, and these guys are pumped to be going lifetime best, as they should be. And I would imagine they probably were thinking after the race, yeah, well, Kevin Cordes goes 148.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing as Rebecca Soni when she finally broke 220, and then that was so massive. But then all of a sudden, a couple others did the same thing. We saw a couple more 219s. So hopefully, Kevin broke the barrier, and now we'll start to see some other guys follow suit.
Hopefully.
Well, the last individual event of the night was the 200 butterfly, and breaststroker IMer Caitlin Leverins almost won a national title. And Jeff, I would assume that would have been her first time having a national title in the 200 butterfly, but she just fell short to Kelsey Worrell at a 154.1. Would that have been?
I think that would have been her first national title in butterfly. I know she does the 200 fly often. But it's not, when it comes to a championship meet, she doesn't, because she always does the 200 breaststroke, which she didn't do at this meet. So, that would have been a first for her, which, would have been, a lot of people have been like, I didn't know she swam butterfly. But, yeah, I've seen her do a few 200 flies, so I know she's very capable of it. But she was up against Kelsey Worrell, who was just flying off the momentum that Louisville has been having tonight. They've been having a great final session. They had a great final session tonight. And, a lifetime best for her, and it just really kind of has to motivate her for what she could do at NCAAs. I think she was third or fourth at NCAAs last March, so, she wants to challenge people like Camille Adams for that title.
Definitely, and exciting for Louisville. Well, and in the men's 200 butterfly, Michigan's Dylan Bosch gets the gold by about a second and a half in front of Andrew Selskar. Now, Jeff, as I mentioned earlier, we saw some incredible performances, but who is the swim of the meet? In my opinion, we only have two options, Nick Thoman, 100 backstroke, and Katie Ledecky, 1650.
I'm going to go with Nick's 100 backstroke, and maybe it's just because this year we've seen Katie Ledecky take these huge chunks off of major records. So while the 1650 tonight was great to watch and a really great performance, Nick's 100 backstroke just kind of blew me away. I mean, I guess it was, having taken 9 months off and only been in serious training for 6 months, then to go a major lifetime best just really says a lot about his potential. And it just was first of all, a record that isn't easy to get. I mean, Matt Grievers, when he went 44.5 last year, he barely got under. And so Nick's taken 5/10 off a 100 record. You don't see that very often. So to me, that was the performance of the meet. They didn't vote on that for the performance of the meet here. They voted for Katie Ledecky 1650. I'm not going to argue it. But personally, for me to see Nick Thoman go 44.0, almost go 43, that's pretty special.
I completely agree with you. If I was there, it would have been the 100 backstroke, because that margin in 100 is so much. 10 seconds is huge in a mile, but I agree, given all the circumstances surrounded and breaking the American record in the 50 backstroke, it's got to be Nick Thoman. Well, Jeff, thanks for joining us from the pool deck. As always, we appreciate your analysis. Safe travels back to Arizona.
Thanks, Tiffany. See you soon.
All right, well, thanks for watching Race Day, sponsored by Speedo. For complete coverage and interviews for the 2013 Winter Nationals, go to swimmingworld.tv. I'm Tiffany Elias. Join us again next time.